This is Digital Marketing Fastlane. This podcast will show you how to build, launch, grow, and scale a widely successful online business. Listen to real conversations with proven practical strategies and success stories. You're going to learn how to generate more traffic, more sales, more profit, and customer lifetime value for your online store. Coming to you from the online marketing experts at Voy Media, here's your host, Kevin Urrutia.
Hey, welcome to the podcast. This is Eric Philippou. I'm joined with the main host, Kevin Urrutia.
Fine. Hey, what's up, Eric? How's it going?
Good. Yeah, it is Friday.
Are you excited? Are you excited what are you doing this weekend?
I'm going to be looking at my ads this weekend. Yeah, we'll see what happens this weekend. I'm not sure. No plans, maybe some Zoom calls with some friends, but nothing.
Are you going to take a risk and go outside?
Probably not. Last Friday, I had to go to the vet. And because my wife, I think, stepped on my cat in an awkward way. So we had to rush to the vet with masks on and stuff. He turned out to be okay. But people were just waltzing around as if nothing. Anyway.
Another 30 days of lockdown. But yeah. Have you and your wife been cooking?
Well, yeah. And that's a great segue into what we're going to be talking about. So my waistline's taken a hit because we cook really well.
I did a Rumble workout yesterday with the live.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
wow.
So Rumble, obviously all these brands right now, having like live workouts. And I did one yesterday at 6 p.m. It was pretty good. It was Rumble, like the boxing gym in New York City.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
And it was pretty good. I was definitely sweaty, and then I went running after that. So it's a good workout. I'm definitely feeling sore today.
Dang.
I haven't worked out in a while.
Yeah, the most working out I got was lifting a heavy box from Amazon through the door.
The curry supply?
No, I didn't get any curry this time, but other really good stuff. Cat food, cat cans. Anyway. Yeah, today's episode, we're going to be looking at a brand. This is a pretty interesting brand. It's very top of mind. A little history about them. They're called Noom, Noom. They are a weight loss brand. I don't know as much about them. What I do know about them is I keep getting ads for them. And I notice they're very beautiful ads, very interesting ads. Their angles are very interesting. They're like a weight loss brand. They seem to focus on the psychology of dieting more than like specific diets and restricting food, which seems like a core issue in the whole fitness and health niche, just the psychology about how you think about food. So that's pretty cool. That caught my attention. My waistline has taken a hit during this quarantine. I don't know about you, Kevin. You said you're hitting it hard at the gym.
No, I'm still like working out randomly, but not as I should.
It's great because when I was going through it, I clicked on a few of their ads. It seems like they might offer some solutions to many problems during this COVID situation. And I'm looking at their website right now. They are offering some free 2 full weeks at zero cost of their program during the COVID situation, which I think is very nice. Got my attention, whenever I see free.
2-week trial, 14-day trial. But is this? Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah. Let's explore it because I'm not really sure what they do. I know you've been mentioning some weight loss, but is it like an app? Is it food?
Yeah. So,
what is it? Yeah.
So I intentionally didn't dig because I want to discover it. I want to click their ad as a new user again. But I think it is like kind of like those Talkspace and apps where you talk to a psychologist instead you talk to maybe a dietitian or something. I think we're going to find out as we learn more in the eyes of a consumer and dissect their ads and their funnels in the eyes of DTC marketers that we are. So if you're looking at my screen right now, I literally just typed it noom.com. The first thing that comes up, we remain committed to our mission to help people. We're offering a free full 2-week trial during this time. That's pretty cool. So I'm going to click continue. And Kevin, I don't know if you're looking at my screen or your
I'm looking at your screen.
Yeah. So first thing that jumps out at me, I mean, for me, like the aesthetics are cool, like simple branding, but there's a lot going on this headline. And I think this was not the landing page I clicked on when I clicked on one of their ads. So that's interesting. And also noteworthy, maybe they're not directing a lot of traffic to this page, but
I guess the ad is probably telling people what it does if it's going to this page. Yep.
Absolutely. right, cool. So I'm going to click that. What did I click? Hold on. I clicked get fit for good versus lose weight for good. I'm going to do lose weight for good.
Okay, let's see what the difference is.
Looks similar. So this seems like the funnel I clicked when I did it. So I'm going to put my weight. I'm going to put my completely factual weight, what it is right now. Definitely 150. Definitely not 180.
What is your ideal weight? Okay, go.
My ideal weight, 150. That was
Do
in
it.
my fencing days. I had a six-pack. I had everything.
I wish I was on 52.
It has my, all right. Well, this kind of
Eric's like, oh, wow, this is
okay. It has my current weight here. What's my height and weight? So it does have the 185 there.
You're 5'9", Eric? Interesting.
I'm 5'9", depending what kind of shoes I got on, depending what my haircut is. You know what I mean? So
You're taller than me? I didn't realize you're taller than me, even though I see you every day. Are you taller than me?
I don't know.
Because I always thought you weren't that much taller than me, but I'm like 5'6".
I'm a good 5'9", maybe 5'8.5", depending.
All right.
Who's measuring me. I have the presence of 5'6", though. I got a slouch. I look down.
Maybe. It could be it. You could do kind of slouch, but anyways.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm also always sitting down. Anyway, but yeah, this is my height and weight. It looks like it has a lot of my information already saved from when I went through this the other day. So you're gonna see that. But gender male. I'm gonna click it again. Age 20s. All right. So it's got some basic stuff. This looks like a funnel, like, long-term results through habit, behavior change, not restrictive dieting. That's cool. And we work with a couple of health brands, and that's some of the messaging that they see does really well.
Behavior
Any kind
change.
of these like benefits, when you promote the long-term benefits and how to get it, and also the not restrictive dieting, that's a good message. It is a great consumer message because, I can eat whatever I want and I'm going to be great for a long time.
Yep.
That's a really powerful messaging. We work with a few health brands, and yeah. So if you're in this health niche or something, definitely think about that messaging in general. I like that a lot. And obviously I think their entire business model or site, like their entire angles, everything's based around this messaging. So that's pretty cool. That I wouldn't be surprised if they're a fast growing DTC brand because of that. Anyway, we're going to find out.
Got it. Okay.
So yeah, I have some healthy habits. All right. So
let's see. Man in the 20s wants to reach an ideal weight.
Best describes you. I would say I have some healthy habits.
Okay.
All right. We're going through this. What is your main reason? So if you're just listening, we are going through this funnel, and you can find us on, I think, youtube.com.
Can you disable your ad block? I want to see what pixels they're firing.
Ooh.
And then refresh.
Refresh. Yeah, let me move this from the.
Yep. And see if they're firing something for like each quiz step, but I guess not.
It's just because they might have something at maybe different pillars, like different.
It's probably because it's like a new URL, so they can so it's fine. Yeah, it's a new URL, so it's fine.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Yep. So it's just you can do like URL based stuff.
Oh, perfect. Oh, I know exactly what you mean. Yeah, that's pretty good then. So they're checking how deep in the funnel people are going. I went all the way to the end of this funnel. So I imagine whatever ads I'm getting is a lower funnel ad, but we're just clicking through different options to see through their funnel. It looks like this one, sticking to a plan can be hard, but Noom makes it easy. This is like an ad almost.
It's convincing you to keep using them. So they're sort of making sure that.
Interesting. You got to sell you more at that point. Nice. Back issues. Oh, I hit no. Nothing here. This is basically like risks and stuff, and basically this is a health thing, so they're going through a lot of different health questions that you're probably familiar with. No. Yes. Basic stuff. Yeah, it looks like they're connecting their database. I imagine this is the part where they give me some kind of offer. I think it is, because I went through the funnel before. So this is interesting. I like this little graphic they have, target weight, and then Noom users. I don't know if you saw that, but
yep.
Yeah, I got my email. I'm going to see my results. I did get my results.
Wow.
So this is interesting.
That's a long time.
That is a bit of a long time. That's interesting. It is a realistic time, though. And I do have my work cut out for me.
That is a lot of weight loss, though.
I lost 30 pounds in a month before. Did not keep it off, but that's
how'd you do that? Did you not eat?
I did the keto diet. combined with low calorie, combined with intermittent fasting, and
did like
I
5
walk to
diets at
Tahoe
once.
every day and back. So
Jesus Christ. All right, claim your plan, Eric. Okay, so what I like about this is it's kind of realistic. You know,
Mhm.
it's like, yeah, like, okay, it's gonna take at least 4 months, and I think
Mhm.
that is something that I think they're making sure that users know about. It's always great to be upfront about this.
Mhm. And the people
So,
who do buy it, they're long-term thinking. And if it's a monthly recurring subscription kind of model, that's more
yep,
months for them. So they're not going to say, oh, this will be ready in 2 months. If they say, oh, try this for 4 months or
yep,
whatever it is, 5 months,
they're gonna know.
that's gonna be a lot more revenue for them. So
Yep.
they're that might be a strategy they're doing. And it also just might be the actual
It could be a
realistic.
strategy. It could also be like just like retention. Like they don't want people to complain that, hey,
Mhm.
you told me 2 months and it's been 2 months and now I'm pissed off.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you notice on below it, as you're scrolling down and stuff, they're hitting you with featured in, used by leading hospitals with health plans, a lot of this authority, credibility
They're
stuff.
just adding more credibility to your decision, which is good. Like, I mean, every step of the way in this funnel, they were adding credibility, even with the
Mhm.
essentially what you're saying before, that they had like an ad in the middle of the question to just sort of
Yeah,
for you to
yeah,
just click next.
yeah. And then they had like that graph earlier where it's, Noom users, they're hitting their target weight long term. So now they're going to customize the plan. Each response next. I did.
You filled this out already.
Yeah, I did. I went through the whole step, I think. So it's not the end of the funnel. So that's what's interesting. Something that jumped out at me, even when I was doing this as an actual genuine user, it's a very long funnel. And
It's very long and they're asking you like very interesting questions.
yeah. That's interesting. Maybe there are different health things. I'm not a doctor, but yeah, there's so many different questions. I signed up for similar apps for other things, and it's not nearly as in depth. This is very in depth. I'm wondering if that's because it's building a very strong long-term foundation for recurring subscriptions,
Yeah.
1 to 3 years. You're learning a lot about me in this one. Yeah, just more stuff. Do you relate to this? Yes. Sometimes. Something like that. Yeah, these are just like statements you relate to. A little more qualitative, I think. Let's go with one of those. All right, yes. No restrictions, basic stuff. So now we're, another couple quizzes. That was like 5 or 10 questions. I didn't count, but it was a lot. Now we're going through. Now they're building the plan. Takes 10 minutes a day. That's all right. That's good. So now it's like loading. This is a very long funnel. So I'm interested to see what they come up with. All right, so they're giving you their messaging. There's no good and bad foods. I like this green, yellow, red based on caloric density. That's interesting.
That's how I can still eat what you want. Damn, I want Domino's now. Maybe we get Domino's tonight.
It is, yeah, they are delivering. Cool. It is taking a while to load. I'm wondering what they're now. Keep in mind when we do these brand reviews or audits, whatever you want to call them, we don't have access to their back-end data. We have no affiliation with these brands. So I don't know what their conversion rates are. So any good or bad thing I mention, take it with a grain of salt because maybe this funnel is crushing it. Maybe their LTV is so high that they can, whatever it is. There's we don't have a lot of data to that. So, but we're just looking at it. We're making some assumptions based on what we're seeing. We compare it to a lot of other brands we work with and review. So it looks like here they've helped 1 million people, and it looks like it's going up. That's interesting. People lose 6 weight. Okay, cool.
A lot of people.
Yeah, that's a lot. So that's interesting because I didn't realize how big this was. I actually thought it was just this very brand new app, and they put 1.5 million people apparently are using them. So that
And
was
then it's interesting. I mean, how much does the app cost a month, right?
Yeah, we're gonna find out. I actually don't know. I didn't get to that part.
And then so I mean, like if they've helped over 1.5 million people a month, that means you can sort of kind of see how much money they're making a month if their app
Oh
costs.
yeah.
I
Oh
mean,
yeah.
obviously doesn't include churn because I know remember when something with the companies put this thing, that's not all paid users. There's free users. There's users that are just signed up. Like technically right now you could be a user, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you see how like sometimes companies put these numbers, but they don't really mean the right thing.
Mm-hmm.
So it's something to always be skeptical about.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because
Yeah.
a lot of people confuse paid users with free users, and it's, or even just like right now, because like if you look at your account, you're a user because you have a account, like
Mhm.
you're signed in. So
Yeah,
sometimes they could put you on there as a person that.
that's true. That's
Yep.
interesting. Yeah, and that's something to keep in mind. Whether if you're a marketer on the flip side of it, um, however you define that, however many units sold, or however
Mhm.
many people are users or something. There's a lot of
There's a lot of ways to make the numbers look better than it is, right? A lot of
it's all
people
about
have,
framing.
yeah.
Yeah,
People always say, "Oh, look, my company's doing $30 million a year," and it's like, wait, is that revenue or profit? Because they're two very different things.
that is very. Yeah, that is. I know someone who said he makes $20 million a year, in,
Yeah.
like I think it's drop shipping or something.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, what's your profit? He's like 8%, man. I'm like,
I was
all right.
like, okay, yeah, it's like very different. It's still a lot, but I'm like, yeah, like the
Yeah,
number
yeah,
you're saying is very different. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. But
But yeah, as marketers, and sort of like as brand owners, that's a strategy. It's everybody does it. It's a tactic, and of course you want to be truthful, but people do it all the time, and
yeah, yeah.
yeah, I mean that's how the world works. I mean,
Mhm.
every company does it. Like even this big company apparently does it.
Yeah, I mean, it's market. You want to show the good things. You're not going to say, "Oh, well, we're only helping this much." Even it's a marketing. We're
Yep.
all marketers listening to this, most likely.
All right,
Nothing
cool.
crazy.
Let's go to the funnel.
All right.
Funnel
Yeah.
is long. I'm like falling asleep on this
Yeah.
funnel.
This funnel is
Yeah, I'm
taking
like
pretty
falling asleep.
long.
Like that's why I'm so confused. I'm like, this funnel is really long. I'm like,
Yeah, it's asking my snacking behavior, brain behavior, things I'm interested in, energy, digestion. Yeah, there's a lot of really detailed stuff. I do feel like I'm at like a doctor's office filling out, even more than that, filling out a lot of information. Okay, some reports why restrictive dieting fails. So I can see why they
It's
have all
interesting.
these ads, because this is a super long funnel.
The
Not
thing is,
ads,
like
but like
they're educating you while you're filling out the survey.
yeah. So yeah, that's really interesting.
So they want to make sure that you kind of know what's going on.
Articles and several some stats about dieting, about their dieting thing. That's cool. Wow,
They
still more
always
stuff. I saw them on Instagram. So I'm just gonna. Oh. And you guys can say when you guys are at this step in the funnel, where did you hear about us? You can put other, and if they have something to write in digital marketing fast lane, please do so. Anyway, we won't get a commission, but that'd be pretty cool. Anyway, demographic profile, yeah, still loading. I just wrote my name there, not yeah, still building my stuff. So yeah, this is a really interesting turn. Oh yes.
cross-checking with the user database.
Yeah, and this is definitely one that you definitely want to watch on YouTube more than podcast, because there's a lot of important visual things as we're breaking down this funnel. And then especially whenever we're doing these brand reviews, going through the ads library in a minute or two, that'll definitely be something. Oh my God, it's such a long. It's already 1:30, and we're still going through this funnel.
This funnel really, you're really going to be dedicated to join this company if
Yeah,
you
I'm
do
in
this
bottom.
well.
I bet by the time we're on the next podcast, you're going to say, "Hey, so did you already pay them yet?" And there's still a lot more questions. There's probably over 100 questions in this. So there. Okay, so here's where we're at. We're finally at the See My Plan, and this is interesting as a product page. We see this with a lot of SaaS companies, how they select their options page. So they give me 4 options for a plan, price plan of whatever. Let me see. It gets a nutrition
So
plan.
I don't like this type of thing because it's like guilt tripping you here. You see how they're just like, it costs us $18 to compensate our coaches for the trial, but please choose the amount you're comfortable with. This is like a guilt trip. Like, come on, like just give me the price, right?
Understood. Yeah, yeah. I see what you mean.
Like I think that's sort of like I don't know. I'm not too happy about that. I would be like, oh come on, like why you just give me the price? Like if it costs you $18, charge me $20. Or
Yeah.
and the thing about this too is this is a cost of acquisition for them. Like eat up the cost, if anything. They're just trying to eat up, not pay as much. But I think it's like a tip for a restaurant. It's like, oh, like tip us, or type of thing, Just like no,
Absolutely.
you're the
Yeah.
company. You need to pay your people if you want the service done right.
Yeah. So that's an interesting angle. I haven't seen this a lot. I think at restaurants you do see it or something, or
Yeah.
tips appreciate, or whatever it is. But yeah, it is interesting that they would say that, especially like when their highest price option is 1837, so they'd profit 37. That's some interesting messaging. And to be honest, I actually skimmed right past it in my own reading, but I'm not exactly as thorough of a reader. But maybe it works for them. Maybe, who knows? If I had to guess, especially when you look at their ads library later, I scrolled through it really quick. I imagine they're testing a lot of stuff. So maybe this messaging works well.
Yep.
So we'll see what happens. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and click the 0.
Yep.
Just because you know how I am. And so I click the 0. And
Your
then
personal plan has been reserved for the next 15 minutes only. I highly doubt that. Highly.
all
yeah.
of these
Highly.
I know.
Highly.
If I don't do it,
yeah.
I'm probably going to get an email upsell.
Yeah.
I'm probably going to get an email upsell later, which
So
I'm
this
cool.
is, I mean, this is why like
I'm a
weight loss
marketer,
programs and weight loss things get so much like bad rep. It's because of stuff like this. It's like, this isn't really time limited at all. Like this is a software. They have literally they have all your previous information
If I
ready
hit
from previous.
refresh, is it going to reset the timer?
So you're creating your account again.
No, I don't have a password. So you lucky listeners here. Oh, it restarts the funnel. So
let's see if you only have 10 minutes left, Eric.
Yeah, I'm going to breeze through this funnel.
Wait,
and I imagine it resets because I did also go to that. I think when I did that, it was on that page and I just kind of exit out of it.
Yeah, and even stuff like this. So this is great. This is a good education for users or listeners watching the video. Like all this like time loading stuff, that's just coded. Like I highly doubt. Yeah, it's just coding to make it seem like you're doing something, and that's what it is. It's perception, and that's why it works well for. That's when you're doing something like this. That's why you always see loading bars and step by step because it makes you feel that the software is doing something.
Absolutely. That's a really good point. And what I love about this episode so far is it's almost like we're going through a ClickFunnels funnel. That's how we see.
Oh my God, Eric, you 15 minutes again. That's so crazy.
Yeah, so the 15-minute restart. Yeah. So anyway, I mean, I don't want to like just kick Noom or whatever, but
no, I'm saying that these are all like these are all just marketing tactics, and like this is something to be taken for. Where like for marketers, this is why I think this is also good to say, Eric, because me and you were marketers. We understand these tips and tricks.
Yeah, the consumer probably doesn't.
The consumer doesn't. So this is why sometimes this goes back to what we were saying before. When you're in the space, sometimes you're like, oh no, this doesn't work. But for regular consumers, this stuff still works.
Yeah, that's why they're doing it.
Yeah,
they're probably testing a lot. Even whatever you want to say about them. And in general, guys, when you're looking at a brand and you see something, especially a brand like this, who I feel like is testing a lot of stuff, and you see something that you personally wouldn't think of, it's worth being open-minded, giving something like this a try, because you don't know, it might actually be what's working for them.
Yeah.
And if they're offering a good service that's a real solution to a problem, then why not? It's just a sales tactic to get people to buy. And if it's working, I'll give you an example. I have so many examples of like some tactic where the ethics not really a thing. I'm not trying to say any of these are really unethical, but it's just
ethical. I don't.
Yeah, I want to clarify
tactics.
that point. But like these things where I'm like, oh, that wouldn't work, or I wouldn't fall for that. These kinds of things. I have a lot of examples of that, especially in DTC and e-commerce, where as soon as I try them as a marketer and I see it working on the target audience, I'm like, all right, this is a real good option. And I think a lot of people, I think that's something you develop as you experience more of this in marketing. You're just that open-mindedness, because that's
and I think too, I think it goes back to what we're saying. We're such in the space that we see it and we know it's a marketing tactic. And then sometimes it's easy to think like, oh, people are not going to fall for this tactic. But most people don't know about it. Like, for example, I was talking to Wilson, another partner, and he was asking like his sister to Google something. And she was just like clicking the first result on Google. And then Wilson's like, no, that's an ad. She's like, oh, really? I didn't know Google had ads. It's like,
wow.
It's like people just don't know like that Google is like the force for are ads.
And
right?
She's a tech savvy person who grew up with the internet.
Exactly. You see it, people just like this stuff works. And that's why sometimes as marketers, these tactics work. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm saying they're doing it for a reason. And how they're doing it is nice because they're presenting it in a clean way, where most people present it like this pop-ups, it's like, it's like it. And I think there's something to be said about looking at some spaces that have a lot of these like sales tactics, because you think about Expedia, right? Expedia does this all the time. Delta does this all the time. Like, there's only 3 flights left. And then it's like, that's not a lot. That's not true. Right.
Mm-hmm.
But it still causes you to have urgency and to be like, oh my God, I don't want to lose money on this flight. So
absolutely.
Basically what we're saying is this stuff works. And how can you introduce it into your funnel in a way that is clean, makes sense, and gets consumers to buy?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's important to do. And then I have this. I think they're going to ask me a credit card at this point. Fair trial disclaimer. So this is where they'll give me my credit card, and I'll probably get into the actual product. I'm not going to do that on the thing. But yeah, basically that's their funnel. I imagine most of their traffic goes to that. That's why maybe their website homepage wasn't, at least that homepage didn't have as much stuff to scroll down to. So that was interesting. That was much different than maybe the Magic Spoon brand we looked at, where their homepage is like a landing page that explains everything about the brand. So that was very interesting to see. I think now let's take a look at their ads library, because that's actually what caught my attention as a brand the most. And there's a lot of interesting stuff here. So I'm on their ads library right now. If you can see my screen, I'm actually going to move.
I like I'm sure if you noticed that, right? The ads library got a little small UI update. It has like
It did.
It's nice. It has like the Instagram account and then the
Mhm.
Facebook account with like the actual username. I was noticing that. I was like, oh, that's pretty nice.
Yeah. So yes, if you're watching maybe the one from a few weeks ago, there is a different UI on the screen recording. So, but yeah, the ads library, it does look a little different. A lot more colors.
Yeah.
Looks nice. At least this brand has a lot of nice colors. So that's something in the ads that we're going to notice. I feel their use of color. So I'm just looking at it right now. It says similar regional ads. It's like Japan, South Korea, Austria, Ecuadorial. Basically, there's a lot. So I'm actually going to see what it's like to hit all instead of just United States. And I have a feeling we're getting a lot more results. Yeah, so 910 results international. I'm going to stick to United States just because when I was looking at their ads library, there's so much within the United States anyway that I just want to look at some trends over time. We don't want to be scrolling so much. So let's look at their first ads. Keep in mind, these are the ads they launched today, or I guess yesterday. So these are the most recent ones. And what I like to do in general, if you haven't watched any of our brand reviews yet, is I like to scroll down very far to at least a few weeks or a few months in when they started running ads. And because whatever they started running there, if they're running something similar now, that means that worked. It's an ad that they're scaling or they're keeping on. It's profitable. So that's where the real learnings are in these ad libraries. There's a lot of creative inspiration ideas, but doing that is what's the difference between, oh, that looks cool, let's try it, or, oh, I know this is working for them. They probably spent $600,000 testing it. I would have a lot of confidence in them. So I'm looking here. Let's look at little angles that they're using as we scroll down. So I'm seeing, this is the one that caught my eye. This looks like a 4x5 video. It's originally a square video, but they use that extra space for some really important text. That's a really cool tactic. We've done that a lot. We like to do it on the top or the bottom, whatever works. But
white text or
the white text on Instagram, it looks like it's part of the Instagram feed. It looks really nice. But yeah, this is really cool. I like the branding. It looks really clean. This looks like a mom playing at home with a kid. So that's interesting. It's very relevant to the time right now. I'm going to go ahead and click this video. If the sound blasts you, apologize. Oh, no sound.
No sound?
Yeah, no sound on the video, which is interesting. They probably have subtitles or something, but oh, no. Yeah, but this is an interesting video. Let's dissect it. The hook of the mom playing, that's a cute hook. Anything baby or pets, always a great hook. Looks like a user. They have like a little transcript of what he's saying. Yeah, I like it. Little saying, hey, the psychology aspect of Noom was crucial for me. That's definitely their differentiator, I feel, as a brand. So they come out with strong, even the thumbnail that you probably see for only a second says that. Control thought patterns and control your happiness. That's pretty cool. It's an interesting message. Change your habits, change for good. I like this a lot. It's really good messaging. If you're thinking of that Maslow hierarchy of needs, this attacks something a lot higher up on it. So a little more core, more psychological, which I think is interesting. People do think, oh, well, I want to lose weight to look good or feel better. This just shows you how to feel better. And it also has the weight loss component. So that's pretty cool. So scrolling down a little more, maybe if they have different hooks, or the same hook, maybe the middle is different. Or the ad copy. All right. Yeah, maybe a lot of versions of this ad. Interesting. Secret. All right, cool. A lot of the same one. They're doing a lot of different variations of this. Yeah, you can scroll. Wow. So they have another one here. Looks like a similar hook. Someone doing a push-up over their dog. That's hilarious. That's an awesome hook.
That's cute. It's like
same video too, but it's just the hook is different. So they're testing a lot of different hooks, and that's a best practice. We see a lot of great brands do. We definitely suggest to every brand we work with. But yeah, basically
they're just reusing they have good content. They're just testing the 3 seconds or a few seconds of
and
it.
I think you remember with Shapermint, they did that. And having a few different hooks. The hook is such an important part of the video. We've talked about this on previous podcasts where you got to have several variations of the hook because, if the hook is good, then they'll watch the rest of the video. But if it's bad, they're not going to watch any of the video. So that's very important. Looks like they have a few different hooks for that video. Another one. These are just adorable hooks. It's a lot of it is super timely. These all launched yesterday. So it's a parent working out at home with a kid or a pet. It's awesome. I imagine maybe the pet one and maybe it's a younger person, different persona, whereas this might be an older persona. So maybe they're doing some different persona targeting. That's pretty cool. Yeah. Oh, wow. They're still doing it. We're just scrolling and scrolling so far, and they got so many different really cool hooks of this video.
There were a lot of ads.
All right. So now we've come to a lot. Yeah. So they have a lot of ads. That's the point here. I imagine they have a huge budget, so they're testing a lot. They're definitely testing a lot. So this is a huge thing to know. The headline's also the same too. Noom Ads secret, brain power, not willpower. So maybe that headline is working. If they use this more than like 2 weeks ago, based on their testing volume, it's probably a winning headline. So this is interesting. A lot of hooks. This is like a little more looking at a brain. Oh, wow. That's an interesting one. Yeah, I saw this one. Floating around. Maybe we get an idea of their funnel. So maybe if we click an ad that might be a retargeting one or something, it'll look different. But yeah, so many ads. So now here's one. It looks like some food happening. And okay, so hate keto. All right, so now
okay. I like when brands do like we need to our brands do this, but I like when they do this the text on top with like the thick text. A lot of companies don't want to do this, but I think it works really well. And hate dieting, it's such a great hook.
Yeah,
I've been overweight most of my life, most of my adult life. Great hook. Like that really calls out. Like we always say before, like that just like that you need to have that in there to call out that person you're trying to target.
Absolutely. And that one of the episodes we talked about, I think, how to use controversy in ads. Look at they're doing. This is just a quote. They don't even say who it's from, and it's an I perspective. So instead of saying, have you been overweight your whole adult life, which someone could take offense to, it's I've been overweight most of my adult life. It's framed so differently, and it has a much different message and impact when you read it than, if they would just say, like, have you been overweight your whole life? When you're addressing some kind of vulnerability, this doing it in the quote as if in the I, that first person, that's a much better way to approach that vulnerability. So whatever your niche is, there's really good ways to do that. But that's definitely something you want to do. And you're still, instead of like kind of attacking a person for vulnerability, which you never want to do, you're offering them a really good solution. It's almost like they're confiding in you, this ad. So it's really interesting. Yeah. So yeah, a lot of interesting stuff like food comparisons. Do you hate this kind of diet? All right. So that's another angle, maybe even a different persona they're trying. Because they did launch it almost the same day. There's so many ads. This is cool. The beer one, they're probably targeting a male maybe here with the beer pouring. Then they're targeting females in this one. Foodies. Nice. This is in people fitting in the dress. This looks like very similar to the Shapermint ads. Just let's try to scroll as far down as possible. And let's see if we find any trends that I always like to come away from these audits with like something that you can take to the bank that that they tested a long time ago. They tested a lot and it's working for them. So I'm going to scroll to like middle of March, at least based on their testing volume. And let's see, and I can give you some insights. So if you're watching this on YouTube, you're in the health niche or something, this would be pure gold for you. There's so many ads. If you're watching right now, I'm scrolling and scrolling, and we're only on March 27th. So
yeah, I just say let's just look at some of the ads and just sort of. I would say like some of the takeaways from this are just like they're using what we said before. They're very very similar to Shapermint, where they're presenting the problem up front. Go up a little bit. It's just we can't go through them, Eric. Just like like this row, just like pick this row, right? If you still go down here, like all these are great hooks and angles, and they're doing that with their copy and the text. The big text overlay works. Some brands don't want to do it, but
It is really good. A lot of people think, is there too much text in it or something?
Yeah.
But not necessarily for the video. It's not so bad, and especially if you keep it super simple and just readable.
Click on that Hey Keto one. Yeah.
Yeah, this one they've been using for like 2 weeks now. So, and that's like a lifetime in this brand. So I'm gonna click it.
But I think that's sort of like some of the takeaways. We could be here forever. Like they just have simple creatives with copy that's really compelling.
Yeah, it's hate keto and it's a really sexy bowl of pasta. Like that's a really good hook for people who hate keto.
Yeah.
Wow, this is cool. They got a donut to the right on this other one. Probably, eating stress with donuts and stuff. And that's something we work with some food brands. If you just show sexy food, cute pets, that's all really good content. I mean, go on Instagram. It's basically that. So, yeah, they're eating the pasta. That's really cool.
Yeah, I would say 2 big things for the takeaways, Eric, for this is have your hook, have the copy with like they're using a bunch of text on top of their video ads. I think that works well. And then also, for them, it's a survey funnel works well. But any other takeaways? I think this is good for.
There's so much information here, and their funnel you saw was so deep, so you can see they're getting a lot of volume to that funnel.
Yep.
And that's pretty good. I don't know what the conversion rate is, but I imagine they have a high lifetime value because they have long subscriptions. They, $18 or however many dollars a month. That's really good. So good for them. They're doing a lot of testing. They're doing everything right from an ad perspective. The funnel, if it's working for them, we don't know the conversion rates. But yeah, this is a great brand to monitor over time. If you're looking at ads library, you want to just check in on what's working in a certain niche or in general. Definitely take a look at them, look at their trends. But yeah, be prepared to scroll a lot because they are testing a lot.
Yeah, I think it's not even just testing. It's just like I said, it's the hook and the angles. It's
absolutely
the way, and also just like the style of the videos they're making. I think that's the big takeaway is you can easily replicate these styles of videos. They're not that hard.
Yeah, that's really good too.
All right. Anyways, I think that's good for today. Eric, I think it was a good podcast episode. All right, thanks guys for listening. We'll be back next week again. Everybody stay safe.
Take care.
This week's episode of Digital Marketing Fastlane was brought to you by the performance marketing experts at Voy Media. Join us again next time as we'll be bringing you more tips, techniques, and know-how to make your online business the very best that it can be. If you have any questions, comments, or feedback, we'd love to hear them on Twitter at Voy Media. Thank you.